Building an empire sometimes has an interesting and funny story. The same thing goes with the Red Bull. Yes, we are talking about the energy drink, Red Bull. It is also known for its interest in coming into the world. Are you guys interested in hearing about it all? Let's get started. Hello friends, welcome back to Businessman. Today we are back here again with an interesting video. So, you guys would be amazed to hear that the founder of the Red Bull was once a poor duck farmer. Then how did he make it out? Let us find out. Stick with the video and watch it till the end to know everything about it. The Austrian firm Red Bull GmbH is the owner of the popular energy drink brand known as Red Bull. As of 2019, it has the title of being the most popular brand of energy drink, with a market share of 38%. More than 100 billion cans of Red Bull have been sold all around the globe since the company first introduced its product in 1987, including 9.8 billion in 2021 alone. At first, Red Bull energy drink was only offered in a solitary flavor that did not stand out, and it was packaged in a tall and slender silver blue can. However, as time passed, other iterations of the beverage were developed and made accessible. One of the most well-known and easily remembered advertisements in the US is Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull has generated awareness and created a brand myth through proprietary extreme sports event series such as the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, the Red Bull Air Race, and Red Bull Crash Ties, as well as standout stunts such as the Stratos Space Diving Project. Rather than following a traditional approach to marketing, Red Bull has opted to take a more unconventional route. In addition to hosting sporting events, the company promotes itself by owning several sports teams, getting celebrity endorsements, and using its Red Bull Records label to put out music. In 1976, a Thai pharmacist named Chaleo Uvidia introduced a beverage called Krating Dane to the Thai market. Red Bull may trace its roots back to this beverage. Uvidia targeted his marketing efforts to students and workers, suggesting that his beverage might make them more productive in their respective fields. He promoted Krating Dane at a number of Thai athletic events, including Muay Thai, which contributed to the establishment's rise to prominence. Henrique Dietrich Mateschitz is said to have healed his jet lag by consuming a can of Krating Dane, which he acquired while doing business in Thailand. In an effort to forge a business relationship with Uvidia, Mateschitz developed a product that would appeal to the preferences of Western consumers by, for example, adding carbonation to the item in question. In 1984, the two individuals established Red Bull GmbH in the town of Fuschel am See in the Austrian state of Salzburg. When it came time to promote their new product, Mateschitz made reference to Krating Dane's name. Dang means red in Thai, and Krating, also known as an Indian bison or gore, is a large kind of wild bovine that is endemic to the Indian subcontinent. 1987 was the year that saw the first can of Red Bull ever marketed by the firm in Europe. Red Bull started its operations in the United States in 1996, and ever since then, the company has seen consistent expansion. Krating Dane and Red Bull both utilize the same Red Bull on Yellow Sun logo, but they continue to sell their respective beverages in the Thai and international markets in a manner that is distinct from one another. Together with Mateschitz, Uvidia's children and grandchildren still own and run most of Red Bull GmbH. In 1976, Chaleo Uvidia launched a beverage in Thailand that would later be known as Krating Dane, which translates as Red Gore in English. Truck drivers and laborers in Thailand were big fans of the beverage. In 1982, Dietrich Mateschitz met Chaleo, the proprietor of TC Pharmaceuticals in Thailand. At the time, Mateschitz was working for the German company Blendix, which was eventually bought by the American company Procter & Gamble. Mateschitz learned that Krating Dane was an effective treatment for his jet lag throughout the course of his stay. Together with Uvidia in 1984, Mateschitz established Red Bull GmbH, which went on to become a well-known brand all over the world. In order to finance the firm, each partner contributed a savings amount equal to $500,000. Uvidia and Mateschitz each owned 49% of the new company's total equity. They decided that Mateschitz would be the one to handle the firm, but they donated the remaining 2% to Uvidia's son Chalern. On April the 1st of 1987, the product was intended to the market for the first time in Austria. Blue-collar employees in Thailand are the most likely demographic to use energy drinks. When Red Bull originally introduced the beverage to Austrian ski resorts, they did so with the intention of rebranding it as a hip, high-end beverage. There was a significant price differential between the two products, with Red Bull marketed as a high-end beverage and Kraton Dane sold at a more affordable price. Both beverages are sold in a wide variety of nations and may be found dominating the market at opposite extremes of the price range. It is still the case that the flavoring for Red Bull is manufactured in Bangkok and sent all over the globe. The decade of 1990s saw the product's introduction to new markets around the globe, including Hungary, Slovenia, Germany, the UK, and the US. In 1994, it made its way into Germany and the UK. In 1997, it arrived in the US through California, and in 2000, it arrived in the Middle East. According to an article that was published in Forbes magazine in 2008, both Chalillo and Mateschitz were tied for the 250th spot on the list of the wealthiest individuals in the world with an estimated net worth of $4 billion. The headquarters of Red Bull GmbH is located in Fuschel am See, an Austrian hamlet with around 1,500 residents located close to Salzburg. The Uvidia family, who owns 51% of the corporation and legally owns the trademark in both Europe and the US, is also the company's majority shareholder. Throughout its history, Red Bull has made many different flavors and colors of its signature energy drink. All of them were made with the same basic recipe, but each one had its own twist. In 2003, Red Bull started releasing variants of its beverages, beginning with a sugar-free version of the drink called Red Bull Sugar Free, which had a taste that was distinguishable from the flavor of the original drink. Red Bull introduced Red Bull Total Zero in 2012, which is a variation that does not include any calories. A new sugar-free version of Red Bull, called Red Bull Zero, was introduced by the firm in 2018. It was supposed to taste more like the brand's original flavor. In 2009, Red Bull introduced a new version of their beverage called Red Bull Energy Shot that was much more concentrated. Cans of 2 ounces contain it. With the introduction of Red Bull editions in 2013, the firm started increasing the number of flavors it had available. The first flavors in the editions line were cranberry, lime, and blueberry. Since then, the line has grown to include many more flavors, some of which are only available at certain times of the year or in certain places. Many times, the claims made about the drink's effects and performance have been called into question. In 2001, the Advertising Standards Authority in the UK put limits on the drink's advertising because of complaints from as far back as 1997. Energy drinks offer the benefits that caffeine and sugar deliver, but researchers are still debating the other chemicals' potential side effects. Caffeine is generally responsible for the majority of the impacts that energy drinks have on cognitive function. These effects include enhanced attention and response speed, among other benefits. There is evidence that drinking energy drinks may boost both a person's mental and physical performance. Research that was financed by Red Bull GmbH indicated that performance when driving for longer periods of time is improved after consuming Red Bull. However, the study did not include a control group that consumes simply caffeine. Various other assessments of physical performance revealed positive outcomes, such as an improvement in both endurance and power. Consuming many rounds of the Wingate test while drinking Red Bull energy drink led to an improvement in upper body muscular endurance in young individuals in good health. If you drink a lot of energy drinks or drink them often, you might be more likely to get heart disease or mental health problems. The European Food Safety Authority came to the conclusion that consuming energy drinks that include taurine and glucuronolactone at the levels that are currently being used does not pose a threat to consumers' health. They also reached the conclusion, based on a separate investigation, that there is insufficient data to support a number of the health claims made by businesses about taurine. A study that was done and published in 2008 found that the amount of taurine in energy drinks like Red Bull has never been linked to either positive or negative health effects. The amount of caffeine that is included in a single can of Red Bull that is 250 milliliters in size ranges anywhere from 15 to 32 milligrams per 100 milliliters. Because some nations have legal limits on the amount of caffeine that may be included in beverages, the amount of caffeine that is contained in a can of Red Bull can vary from country to country. Drinkers who consume excessive amounts of Red Bull are at risk of experiencing negative consequences, just like consumers of other types of caffeinated drinks. Consuming an excessive amount of caffeine may lead to mild to moderate euphoria, which is mostly produced by the stimulant characteristics of caffeine. However, excessive intake can also lead to agitation, anxiety, irritability, and sleeplessness. If healthy people in the general population restrict their caffeine intake to 400 milligrams per day, which is the equivalent of 5 normal cans, given that one can have a capacity of 250 milliliters, then they do not put themselves at risk for any possible detrimental effects that caffeine may have. A single serving of an energy drink will not result in a daily caffeine intake that is dangerously high. Nervousness, irritability, inability to fall or stay asleep, increased urination, irregular heart rhythms, and dyspepsia are some of the negative side effects that may be caused by consuming more than 400 milligrams of caffeine in a single sitting. Consumption has also been known to produce pupil dilation when combined with certain antidepressants, or SSRIs, which may be dangerous. In contrast to the labeling requirements for pharmaceutical products, the amount of caffeine that is contained in food sold in the US does not need to include a dosage statement. However, there are those who are advocating for the Food and Drug Administration to change this practice. Initially, the governments of France, Denmark, and Norway prohibited Red Bull from being marketed within their respective countries. However, as of the year 2021, it is now available for purchase in each of the 27 nations that are part of the European Union, as well as in 171 countries worldwide. Taurine was causing the French organization in charge of food safety some anxiety. A kind of Red Bull that omits the amino acid taurine has been made available. The French rejection of market authorization was challenged by the European Commission, and in 2004, the European Court of Justice largely confirmed the European Commission position. In 2008, the French organization in charge of ensuring the safety of food gave in because it was unable to provide conclusive evidence of specific health dangers, regardless of whether or not they were tied to taurine. In 2013, Red Bull warned the Red Bull Brewery, a microbrewery located in Norfolk, that it may be subject to legal action if it did not alter its name because it sounded too similar to Red Bull. It was explained to the 8-person Norwich brewery that its name would confuse consumers and tarnish the reputation of its brand. The dispute between the two businesses was resolved, and both parties agreed to let Red Bull keep using its name. Red Bull reached a settlement with 2 consumer class action lawsuits in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York in the amount of $13 million in 2014. The claims had been pending since 2014. Benjamin Carruthers, David Wolf, and Miguel Almaraz were named as plaintiffs in the lawsuit. They had sued the company for breach of express warranty and unjust enrichment, alleging that Red Bull falsely asserted performance-enhancing benefits from the drink's ingredients that were unsubstantiated by scientific studies. The lawsuit was filed against the company in the state of California. Customers who had filed claims were given the option to receive cash compensation of $10 or $15 worth of Red Bull products within 150 days after the court's affirmation on any appeal, which occurred on May 1st of 2015. Despite what some news outlets said, the plaintiffs did not say that the drink didn't really make people fly. Red Bull has been airing ads with the phrase "Red Bull gives you wings" since the year 1997. Most commercial animation was pretty crude, and all of the characters always had a frown on their faces. The international advertising campaign for Red Bull focuses primarily on high-risk sports and activities. These include cliff diving, parkour, surfing, skateboarding, freestyle motocross, rallycross, Formula One racing, NASCAR racing, breakdancing, mountain biking, aerobatics, BMX, motocross, windsurfing, skateboarding, kayaking, rowing, and wakeboarding. Red Bull employs musicians and video game designers and has collaborated with famous people like Eminem. It plays host to a variety of events, such as art exhibitions and the Red Bull Flog Tag. Red Bull owns football teams all across the world, including clubs with the Red Bull trademark, included in their titles in Austria, Germany, the US, and Brazil. By connecting the image of the drink with these activities, the corporation hopes to increase the strength of its brand and generate a public image that is seen as cool. The market for approximately 150 other sorts of items that are linked has been formed as a result of the energy drink. Red Bull established its very own in-game island inside the social gaming network PlayStation Home for the PlayStation 3 with the express purpose of promoting both its energy drink and the Red Bull Air Race event, which took place in January of 2009 and was named after the location. Red Bull debuted two new places on the same day in late November of 2009, the Red Bull Illume Space and the Red Bull Beach Space, including the Red Bull Flugtag. Both of these new spaces were developed by Red Bull. Red Bull's first attempt to make a personal space was the Red Bull House of Skate, which opened in January of 2012 and had an indoor skate park. In 2010, the company hired the services of Adrian Newey to develop a prototype racing vehicle for the video game Gran Turismo 5, which was given the name Red Bull X 2010. Red Bull made the announcement in 2022 that it would begin full production of a hypercar named the RB17, which was also created by Newey. Red Bull became involved in team sponsorship in 1995 when it became a partner of the Swiss Formula One team, Sauber. In 1999, the company became a partner of the Czech Republic's Flying Bulls aerobatic squad. The company expanded its ownership of sporting teams to include several soccer teams in the 2000s, including the Austrian Bundesliga team SV Austria Salzburg, the Major League Soccer team, the New York Metro Stars, and the German fifth-tier team SSV Markranstadt. The company's goal was to move the SSV Markranstadt team all the way to the top of the German Bundesliga. However, RB Leipzig has also experienced rapid success, climbing through the German soccer divisions to earn a place in the top-flight German Bundesliga and earning berths in the UEFA Champions League in 2017 to 2018 and 2019 to 2020, with a later trip ending with a loss in the semi-finals to Paris Saint-Germain. The club has been the subject of protests by some fans and has been a source of contention for others. Additionally, the firm is a sponsor of the Los Angeles Clippers NBA franchise as well as the Red Bull 3X, which is a series of 3x3 basketball events for both men and women. In the 2010s, Red Bull started supporting gamers and esports organizations like OG, G2 Esports, and Cloud9, and they even formed a League of Legends squad called the Red Bulls. Red Bull became the sponsor of V-League One's Hwang'an Allied in the year 2021. And that ends our episode. Let us know in the comment box which is your favorite beverage brand. If you like the video, like it and share it with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get a notification of our latest videos. Thank you for watching.